Ooh, and then for something lighthearted, fallout protection, what to know and do about nuclear attack. Well, let's try and avoid one and really hope that this doesn't suddenly become necessary again over the next 4 years.
Well, if you got a dollar, well, just lousy down. Know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine.
Hey, this is Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Welcome to my channel. And welcome to what, at least for this video, will be a return to vintage. If you followed my channel for a while, you'll know that I've jumped all over the place. I disappeared for a while. Life got in the way. I was doing community theater. I was traveling for work. More recently, I became more active in trying to give a voice to, in my particular case, creating a gay history book club, to giving a voice to LGBTQ matters. But I've never given up on doing vintage. I never wanted this channel to be just about sales. I never wanted it to just be a transactional thing. And that's what it had kind of developed, particularly during COVID. And so as I've drifted, past that point, it's been a case of, what do I want to be when I grow up? Well, I still don't know. But the fact of the matter is, I have boxes, literally multiple boxes of items that I picked up pretty much at some point during COVID. This one, I actually found the date on it. This was from June of 2023. I purchased a box of Ephemera. And all of this was purchased. There might be an exception here or there, but for the most part, this was all purchased through an online auction specifically to resell. Well, this box has stayed sealed until now. I just cut it open so that I can make it a little bit easier to put it into the video. But literally, I'll do some editing in a minute, but, so I'm opening the box. In the box, it's still wrapped in its bubble wrap. So this has literally not been touched since I purchased this back in 2023. I don't remember what I bought, to be perfectly honest. I was really liked the company that I was working with, bought from them regularly. They were great to work with, was able to pick up some really nice items, unique items. They were working with me. That originally they were sending me every time I bought something, I'd have to pay for shipping. They finally started packaging them together so I could order maybe over 2 months, and then they would just put it all together in a box. So that's what this is. This June shipment was probably everything I ordered in May, maybe even into April, and it became a nice stack. And this channel is still talking about history. It's still talking about vintage. And I still love Ephemera. So, hey, I'm doing a pseudo live unboxing. I've done live haul videos before, and they become stressful to me because if something's sealed and I can't get it open, suddenly everyone's watching me. So this one I've decided to pre-record. I'll edit it so that it makes it a little bit shorter. But I definitely want to highlight some of the stuff that's in here. And like I said, probably with very few exceptions, everything that's in here is going to be for sale. And I will admit there's a timing issue that's tied to doing this video. On Monday, I have one of my monthly sales with Scott from the old Curiosity Shop, where we do the Unbreakables Sale. And one of the things I sell a lot in that is Ephemera. And I'm traveling next week, so I'm going to have to do that sale from a hotel room. And that means I also have to bring everything that I'm going to put into the sale. So I'm hoping there's some small stuff in here that I'll be able to sell in that sale. So wish me luck. So let's see what happens. All right, bubble wrap's off. So I'll just kind of go down through the stack and see what we've got here. All right, I have not lost the fact that I am considering changing my channel name to reflect maybe a broader appeal. We'll see about that. But for now, I am still the Trusty Huckster, and Huck, my mascot. So I do still like huckster related items and vintage advertising. So this is a 1964 catalog for a company I've never heard of, Made of Scandinavia. So Minneapolis, you can see right on there, it's got the 2-digit zip code, which actually that's interesting because 1964, they had introduced 5-digit zip codes. So this is like right on the cusp. This must have been printed before Minneapolis switched over. But it looks like there's loaf pans in here, novelty pans. I remember growing up having cake pans of all these different shapes. There was a company. What was the name of the company that did those? I think there was like a brand. Wilton did these. So I don't know if these are Wilton cakes, because I recognize that lamb. So I don't know if they're reselling Wilton cake pans or if they made their own styles. Okay, that snowman cake pan, that's kind of a scary looking snowman. But great catalog. Actually, pretty thick catalog too. Ooh, there's color. There's a color picture. Some great holiday themed cakes in there, graduation cakes, candy molds, wedding figurines. So more color. Something like this will probably go on eBay. I'll do a little bit of search to see if there's a lot of them out there. But I do think there's a market for something like that. So cool. I'm glad I picked that up. Okay, something small. What is this? 5-digit zip code. Well, it appears to be a parking pass for Niagara Falls. Why did I buy this? It is kind of cool. Can't imagine there's much value in it. Well, that might go into an ephemeral lot or something. All right, we got I was doing a lot of billheads, illustrated billheads. This one doesn't seem that old. This is 1955. Check out the onion paper that's printed. Oh, it's a foldable one. So it looks like this was the folded up to be airmail, air letter sent to Baltimore. 2-digit zip codes, again, prior to 1963. And this, I think I just said it was dated 55. And it is, Dear Madam, Mrs. Y.C. George, at the request of Mrs. Matchett, we are sending you by surface mail illustrations and export prices covering English bone china made by Royal Dalton, Minton, Wedgwood, and Royal Worcester. If you find a pattern to your liking, please advise Mrs. Matchett and also send her a list of the items you require in your service. So this is Stonier's, famous for china and glass. I did pick up a lot of things like this. I have no idea what the market is because I haven't tried to sell any of them. So again, that probably ends up on eBay. I definitely was getting into these because it's a personal interest, but I am reselling them. Programs. So this is the Olney Theater. Let's see, where is Olney based? It's either Baltimore or Delaware because both of them are listed. Looks like the ads are for Baltimore area. So great vintage theater advertising. I don't know if there's a year on this. Granted, Playbills of New York tend to do a little bit better. I got to get my undo. Looks like a couple pages are stuck together. Oh, 1958. So we've got a lovely cigarette ad in the back, but at least luckily that has copyright to it. So 1958, something slipped into this. 76th anniversary, 1882 to 1958, an invitation from Helen Hayes. It was the Actors Fund of America. So that might add some value to that. So, okay. Programs, not a surprise. Looks like I've got a travel guide. Also loved picking up vintage travel items. So a shilling guide to, I don't know my British pronunciations. Chichester. I'm sure there's some creative way of saying that, like just Chester. It says shilling, so that automatically dates it because I don't remember when they switched over from that type of currency to pounds. Dated 1951. So it is the guide to the cathedral from the 50s. Some nice photographs in there. Again, probably something that'll go onto eBay. The installation of charter members into the Johns Hopkins Society of Scholars. Okay, so another program. Cool, it's black. I like the gold logos on there. Let's see, February 22nd, 1969. They had to spell all of that out. 1969, so not particularly old, but older than me. And it appears to be whatever the Society of Scholars is. It's actually got biographies of all the people that were inducted. So probably an eBay item. Let's see, we can look like, we've got new World's Fair. Love World's Fair stuff. It's the official souvenir of World's Fair from the 1964 New York World's Fair, which if you watched Katie from Vintage Vinyl and I did a duo dive on World's Fairs, that this technically wasn't a World's Fair. It was not authorized. Little brochure from Futurama. World's Fair stuff, particularly from the 60s, people remember it. So there is still a market for that kind of stuff. So that'll probably go on. Because I've got another catalog. Friendly Ideals. I don't know what Friendly Ideals are. Oh, wait, maybe it's not a catalog. Oh, looks like maybe it's a magazine. Because we've got artwork on the inside cover with a poem. Edited and prepared by Van B. Hopper. Ideals Publishing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with a single-digit zip code. It's like a poetry book, maybe? It looks like every page has some sort of artwork on it. Some photos. Actually, it's pretty nicely designed because this really pretty lithograph is inset or tipped in and doesn't have any printing on the back. So you could take that out, frame it, and you don't run the risk of any of the print coming back through. So that was done on like better quality items. Something signed on here, Christmas 1947. So at least we have a year. Love and best wishes to a grand friend, Grace Snyder Little. So maybe it was like a gift booklet. I don't know. I've never seen or heard anything like that. It was a bunch of poetry. I have no idea. I have to see if there's any other of those listed on eBay. We got 1939 hunting and racing exhibition. Looks like a catalog of some sort, or no, exhibition. The Baltimore Museum of Art. So we've got an art guide. Looks like it's got some damage on the edge, which is unfortunate. And let's see what is inside. We've got a book. What do you call these? Book plates from Juliana Kaiser Clark and Gaylord Lee Clark, who used to own this. Baltimore Museum of Art. So it looks like it is a book of art about horse racing or horses. Catalog of paintings, horses. So I like the concept of museum guides. I think I do have a couple on my eBay channel or eBay store right now. I don't think they sell particularly well. I think it's got to be like the right combination. This is from 1939, so it has some age to it, but unfortunately the cover's got some damage. But I think the horse aspect of it could make that attractive. So we'll see. Ooh, something small I can take with me. The Ethicon The Ethicon Manual of Surgical Knots. All right. The most complete line of sutures and accessories. Okay, too fun. So this is the Ethicon's Chicago Laboratories. Let's see, is there a date on this? Copyright 1947. Division of Johnson & Johnson of New Brunswick, New Jersey. The Ideal Operating Room. I've always wondered what year was this again? 1947. What the 1947 operating room called for. Technique of tying sutures. Oh, look. And there's a little instructional handbook there how to tie a suture around a dowel rod. Okay, maybe that's applicable to a surgical. I have no idea. All right, well, there might be some interest in something like that. I'll look to see if it's on eBay. Not sure if that's going to be a good idea for Scott's sale or not. But the second book of Chilkoot Charlie by Reuben Gaines. All right, we got some rough conditions on the front of this. What is this? The second book, Drawings by Dale DeArmond, copyright 1955. It appears to be a story in verse. So there's illustrations. Behold the frozen Arctic where the earth comes to an end, one giant icicle, unless one chooses to amend the statements of explorers who have visited the place and lived upon the ice cap to investigate the race. Okay. Appears he might, so Chilkoot might be maybe a type of Inuit. Chilkoot Charlie at the bat. We seem to be drifting into caveman territory in that illustration. So we will do a little bit of research on this. Chilkoot Charlie. Anybody knows anything about Chilkoot Charlie? Let me know. We got a poem, a little standalone poem. Oh, something from Douglas MacArthur. A Father's Prayer. So that must have been inserted into something like a church program or something like that. Oh, what do we got? NRA carbine qualification information. So a brochure from the National Rifle Association. It does have a 5-digit zip code, so it's post 1963. Looks like you could order the carbine qualification program. You could order, register for it. It says form still attached. Shooting's fun for everyone. The why, where, when, and how of rifle shooting for boys and girls. So this is the National Shooting Sports Foundation. So I guess we'd go with that NRA brochure, although this looks older than that one. It's important. Its importance as a military arm, law enforcer, and food supplier is acknowledged. But it does still have a 5-digit zip code, though. So it is later. It's just seems to be illustrated in more of like a 50s Leave It to Beaver kind of illustration. And check out that I don't think they had wagons like that after 1963, but I could be wrong. So anyway, it's definitely after 63 though, because it's inside has the zip code. So they just made it look older. So I'll do a little bit of searching on that. That won't be for everyone's. That's not everyone's cup of tea. But my father was a police officer for 30 years. I grew up with guns, so I do have a slightly different mindset than some. All right, we have what appears to be some sort of a manuscript from 1952. The following summary includes some of the significant laws and principles of law relating to the practice of medicine. Section 1 deals with the laws of the state of Maryland and is therefore applicable only to the state. Why did I buy this? Laws relating to practice of medicine. It's like somebody's thesis. Pay a fee of $20. Pass an examination in anatomy, physiology, medical chemistry, surgery, practice of medicine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I guess it's like how you become qualified. Oh, wait, something about German measles. What is this? What's this? In practice, by rules of the State Department of Health, the following must also be reported. Oh, okay, not going to get too into politics, but it's going to be hard to report some of these things if you fire all the people who are responsible for taking the information. Tuberculosis, syphilis, gonococcus infection, dysentery, diphtheria, whooping cough, meningitis, encephalitis, measles, German measles, chickenpox, mumps, rheumatic fever, influenza, pneumonia. When was this dated? Yeah, 52. So all the things that you're required to track if you're a doctor in Maryland. I truly do not know why I bought this. I'm going to assume maybe it was tucked inside of like a mixed lot, but they didn't do a lot of mixed lots. So, okay, that may be, I may have misunderstood what I bought. Who knows? Got an old love again, Huckster time. We've got a great old brochure of the catalog of the Hoover Constellation. Check out that vacuum cleaner. It looks more like something you do hair dryer, but I think Hoover does vacuums. Something about radio frequencies, some sort of a card, another onion skin, looks like a receipt of some sort. Oh, for a pistol. So it looks like I picked up some sort of a firearms lot. Silvertone, Suburbanite portable television receiver, Zenith, the warranty for Zenith. Let's check out that the Zenith color, the old brochure sticker on that. Check out what, hey, youngsters, look at what TVs kind of look like. We got some old brochure there. Parker Distributors, a 1968 fishing catalog. Those I have, some of those have gone into my booth, and those have actually done well there too. What I'll do is I'll check on eBay and see if it's a more unique one. But if there's a bunch of them on eBay, I take them to my booth, and most of them have sold once they ended up in my booth. 1968 hunting catalog for Parker. Winchester hang tag. I would do that. It was a mixed lot for whatever this is. This is all Winchester stuff. Fishing rod brochure. I think they're like or is this a catalog? Parts list. To get more pleasure from your Mitchell reel sooner, read this booklet before using your reel. So it's more like a user's guide for fishing reel, more Winchester. What are these little cards? Organizational weapons record. Oh, they're filled in. So somebody had a Winchester 300 Magnum, dated 1954. But there's no name or anything on it, but it's the serial number for some of these firearms. Interesting. Okay. I'm not sure I want to have that information. Hunting scope mount. The rifle scope mount. So a lot of these I think are going to be specialty eBay stuff. NRA letter. Got another letter here. It's got a Winchester's price list. That's dated 1965, so in the 60s now. More Winchester, more Winchester, more Winchester, more Winchester. So all kinds of gun stuff. 1963 Parker Fishing Catalog. 1966 Winchester Centennial brochures. Lots of Winchester stuff. So this was probably all mixed together. Winchester certificate of warranty, instructions for your bolt action magazine, Smith & Wesson, ballistics, how to build your own cabinet for them. Oh, got another small thing. What's this little stack? U.S. Department of the Interior. Oh, this is kind of cool. U.S. Department of the Interior migratory bird stamp. So I think there's like the license you would needed to purchase. I don't know where that would have gone though. There's a residential fishing license for the state of Alabama. Fishing and Wildlife Service for the state of Alaska. That's kind of cool. That's 1957. All right, so those are all kind of, I like that kind of stuff too. I think those are kind of interesting. The old certificates and stamps and licenses. Cold Spot refrigerator brochure. Harvest Oak. Suite number. What is this? Furniture. Don't know what kind of furniture. More Cold Spot refrigerator. Strong, light, durable backpack. So this was like the outdoorsy lot. Coleman brochure. Looks like the cover of a fishing catalog. It's the 62, but just the cover. We'll see if the rest of it's in here. An old illustrated notepad page for hunting. Cold Spot freezer. More Cold Spot. This is like a mixed bag. More brochures and warranties. Back to that Parker company. Ooh, look. Hello, young people. This is what carbon paper is. So it looks like it's got this sheet to go onto another piece for the carbon paper, but there's nothing on the back. So careful with that, because that's going to make a mess. Let's see, what's this? Pricing schedule. Oh, backpack again. Cole Parmer. Oh, this is like laboratory equipment. Cooking stove. And parts list for that. Gasoline stove instructions. That little folder here with some of the stuff. So I think that all goes together. How to prepare foods for freezing. So this is part of that Cold Spot. So I might be able to mix all of those things together into one lot. Another Sears Cold Spot owner's manual. Ooh, and then for something lighthearted. Fallout protection. What to know and do about nuclear attack. Well, let's try and avoid one and really hope that this doesn't suddenly become necessary again over the next 4 years. Can guess when this was dated, but I'm curious if there is a date on it. 1961. Actually later than I would have expected. 1961. Old milk cans fill a new role. Decorating homes. Yes, we all remember those days. Oh, there's another brochure of that Harvest Oak. So that's about furniture. Oh, look, an old medical prescription pad for the medical corps. That's kind of cool. Station number. So it's a military base prescription pad. Looks like that looks like a sewing cabinet. Looks like it all folds up, sits on a counter. It looks like those are spools of thread. I can't imagine those are sutures because those are big spools. So I think that's a sewing. I think that's a sewing thing. I've never seen anything like that. That's kind of cool. Oh, and we've got some photographs. There's like a school photograph. Another copy of it. It looks like I've got 3 copies of the same school photograph. All right. Some of this stuff, I don't remember. Let's just be honest. I don't remember buying a single thing that I just showed you. Literally, none of this looks familiar. But most of it is something I would have ordered. Like, it doesn't surprise me. This one surprises me a little. So there's a couple things in there that I'm like, what did I buy? But sometimes, if you've ever been to an auction, even like a live sale or online, you kind of get swept up and you just participate. And sometimes like, oh, it's such a good deal. So anyway, we'll see what ends up happening with all that. Unfortunately, nothing really screams out at me. These are items that I want to bring with me on my next trip to do with the sale to Scott. I'll have to do some research on some of it. And, some of it might... Sometimes it's hard to list things on eBay if you don't have a really good search engine term. So like the Winchester, some of that stuff will probably do okay. I'm not sure there's a market for cold spot refrigerator stuff. So maybe something like that, I could match that all together and put that into a lot for Scott. But it's such a mixed bag. I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of loose pieces. So I already pulled some jewelry. It all has to be non-breakable. So I already pulled some jewelry. I pulled some small items, things that I can just tuck into a folder and take with me relatively, not getting in too much of my way. Thought this would add some more to it, but I've got enough stuff that I can just dig through a couple stacks that I've got in my office, and I'm sure I can find things for the sale. But hey, there you go. So it wasn't a live haul. Flowed a little bit faster than some of them have done in the past because I didn't go like super, super in depth. But if you saw anything you like or have any information on some of the odder things that I showed history-wise, I'd love to have it because I got to research all this stuff. So if anyone can help me with research, 2 thumbs way up. But otherwise, you might start seeing some of that making appearances on my eBay store, which I am trying to be more regularly posting there. Again, I've got so much inventory. I just need to start selling it. So, I'm trying to put some stuff up there on a more regular basis. And then some of it may show up in some live sales. So I've got, Monday, February 24th is when the live sale will be with Scott on the Old Curiosity Shop channel on YouTube. So that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern. He hosts that one. And then jumping forward the following week on Thursday, March 6th, I will be hosting my own live sale. This will be the first time I'm hosting a live sale in months. And I'm going to have Beth from Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretty. She'll be joining me. So we'll have like a little bit of, banter going back and forth. We'll see if I still have an audience for my own live sales. And then she is hosting, peek at my calendar again, on Sunday, March 23rd. She is also hosting her own live sale on her Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretty channel. So that's on Sunday the 23rd. I don't have the date written down, but as we get closer, I'm sure you'll see that in her social media as well as mine. I'll make sure I'm doing something to promote that. So if you've gotten this far into my video, thank you. Sometimes these videos aren't all that fascinating, but I hope you like vintage as much as I do. And I will be continuing to try and put out content that highlights history. Even going into the Gay History Book Club, not everyone is going to care that much about LGBTQ, but I'm trying to tie that into actual history, not just talk about, and just is the wrong term, but that this is not turning into a gay rights network. This is not, it's still trying to tie to vintage, to history. Like I mentioned, I was thinking about changing the name, still using THM, seeing if I could turn it into something like Trusty History Mishmash or something like that. But I kind of like Trusty Huckster Mercantile. But for people that are finding me as a part of the Gay History Book Club, the channel name doesn't make any sense. They don't know what is this. So I've got to figure out, and YouTube's got to figure out my algorithm. I just posted a short video announcing the March book for the book club, and literally it's been up for 2 days. And I think I've had like a dozen views. Like nobody is watching this video. It's not showing up in anybody's algorithm. It could be because it's really short. It was too long to be considered a short, but it's really, really short to be considered typical YouTube content. So I've been doing this for 5 years now. I still haven't figured out the YouTube algorithm. So consistency is key. So I do need to start putting content out on a more regular basis. I did put out another video which showcased it was a decor tour where Raj and I redid his mantle, and that was a tie of some nature items as well as some vintage. I was really proud of that one. That's doing a little bit better. And so that went out, and then this one will hopefully go out within, hopefully soon. So I am trying to get content back out there, and it is what it is. This is supposed to be fun for me. It's never going to be. I'm never going to make money off of YouTube. I'm not. I am not. Nothing's going to go viral. This is just fun, and I hope there are people out there that are interested in what I have to say. And I love when you make comments. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for putting your trust in Trusty Huckster, and hopefully you will see me again soon. Bye, everybody.
Well, if I had a dime for every time I felt this way, I'd have $1 million and a couple bucks in change. Sure was nice to know you. Oh, maybe I'll catch you on a New York train. Or maybe I'll never see your face again.